Hi everyone, this is Vignesh from Code Android. In last tutorial, we have created SQLite database and we did insertion. In this video, we'll see how to read, delete and update the records from the database. Adding a linear layout below insert forms layout. To do these operations, we need 3 buttons. So, setting weight sum as 3. Adding a button with width as match parent and height as wrap content. Assigning weight as 1 and setting ID as btn read. Setting text as read. Select the code and press Ctrl D on your keyboard. Changing the ID to btn update and text as update. Similarly, changing the ID to btn delete and text as delete. We have weight sum as 3 for the linear layout and inside buttons are having weight as 1. So all the buttons will get the same width. To show result, adding a scroll view with width as match parent and height as match parent under the control button layout. Inside, keeping a text view and assigning ID as TV result. Open database handler file, creating a function read data which will return mutable list of user objects. Creating the mutable list and returning the list. We need to initialize the list with ArrayList. Here we are going to read the data from the database. So getting the readable database. To get all the data, we need to use select star from table name as query. If we execute this query using raw query method, we will get the cursor object. This will have all the data read from database. We need to close the cursor and database using close methods. In between, we need to read all the data from the cursor. Move to first method will return true if the cursor is not null and has at least one value. Inside, using an do while loop, we need to read the values. Creating a user object inside the loop. We don't have empty constructor, so creating it. We have ID as the first column, but index will start from 0. So giving index as 0 for the ID. Converting the string to an integer using toInt method. Similarly, setting the name and age from index 1 and 2. If we don't know the proper index, we can get the index using a method getColumnIndex by passing the column name. Replacing the index with this method. We'll add the user object into the list using add method. Open mainActivity.kt. Setting onClick listener for btn read. To call readData method, we need database handler object. So moving this to the top level. Using the handler object, calling readData method, setting the resulting text as empty first. Now looping the data using a for loop and appending the object into TV result text view. In for loop, we need to loop through 0 to size minus 1. Let's run the application. We are getting the data into the text view. Adding spaces between the user attributes. Creating a function delete data. Getting writable database and closing the database connection. To delete the record, we need to call delete data on the connection object. Here we need to pass 3 parameters: table name, where class and values. Here I am deleting the row with column ID as 1. If we want to delete multiple records, then we need to pass all the IDs inside array of method. Duplicating the read data method, removing the return type list, also getting the writable database. On calling this method, we are going to increment the age by 1. So we need to read all the data, and instead of adding into the list, we need to update the age. db.update, inside we need to pass 4 parameters: table name, content value, var class, and value array. Creating the content values with age and passing the CV here. I am matching the ID and name, passing ID and name values. Setting on-click listener for btn update and calling update data method. Also, programmatically clicking the btn read button. Similarly, setting on-click listener for btn delete and calling delete data method. Also, programmatically clicking the btn read button. Let's run the code. Inserting a new row, clicking on read, the result is getting data. On click of update, nothing is happening. Sorry, I forgot to increment the value. Let's run the code. You can see on click of update, all the records age are incremented by 1. On click of delete, record with ID 1 is removed. To delete all record, we need to pass null as var class and null as value array. Let's run the code. On click of delete button, all the records are removed. To verify it, clicking on read. Nothing is happening because all records are removed from the database. That's all for this tutorial, guys. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. If you have any doubt, please put it in the comment section. I will try to answer it. Also, if you need any tutorial on Android, let me know in the comment section. I will try to do that. Hope you like it. I will see you on my next video. Have a good day.